A long time ago, high in the mountains where fast rivers run, a tree lit the spark of inspiration. The people of the mountains saw that they could train the tree's roots across the water and forge them into a bridge.
For tomorrow, this documentary asks us the question about what global knowledge exists that could solve world's environmental problems that we are ignoring. And there were so many things that came about in this documentary: devices to test the cleanliness of water, um, the ability to turn organic waste into cleaning products, lights in cars that don't need electricity, solar power cars. And it just really drove in the point that just because you're not economically powerful does not mean that, just because you are economically poor does not mean that you are educationally poor. And a lot of times the people closest to the problem do have the best solutions to the problem. You saw that with the creating of the terraces to move the water. It's the people that are dealing with the problem every day, her dealing with the garbage every day and being overwhelmed by the smell and figuring out, how can I turn this into money, is a way to kind of think about it in a clearer manner. Him being so close to this lack of electricity and seeing people deal with the loss of their generators and whatnot and being affected by it personally is what drove his passion for this invention, as opposed to capitalism driving the passion. Because when capitalism drives the passion for it, as opposed to benefiting the community as it was with every single person in this dog, I think that it changes the mission in a way. And the mission becomes, how can we make the most money? And when you think about how can I make the most money, you're not thinking about the environment in that point. You're not thinking about the community that's going to affect half the time. And what I loved about all of these solutions were, they were simple solutions in which we found a way to benefit the community, give back, provide people stable economy, provide people a way to get around from point A to point B and feel comfortable and feel revered and respected, even despite their differences or lacks. And the whole time it was about, people that didn't have all these degrees and didn't have all these accolades, figuring a problem out without the need of all this massive industrialism. And I love the idea of sharing these innovative ideas and with everyone, even empowering these remote areas. And so there was, the network of labs seemed like a really good idea. It's like, how do we take these ideas that are coming out of these remote areas and make sure that they're reaching all the areas of the world?
Wow. First of all, the theme throughout being those root bridges, I thought was freaking genius. Brilliant idea to build the theme into, well, build this around this theme, really. Genius. I thought it was just brilliant. This documentary to me was perfect in every way. I just loved the camera shots, the drone shots, the environment shots, the interviews with the people. Just everything about it, the pacing, where everything was placed throughout. Honestly, I don't think anything could have been changed or done differently or better. Just really good and really informative. I kept writing note after note about what I liked and all the different lines that people said. They were words of wisdom that I thought were really great. So just so well done. I love the narration. I thought this person had a perfect voice for this subject matter. Just really well done. Put in the right spots. This is all about, normal people innovating and stepping up for what they believe with all their heart and soul and getting things done. And people all over the world, all races, all genders, all ages, everybody kind of stepping it up in their own place, in their own way. All the different stories were truly inspiring and interesting. I didn't want it to end. I kept going back and reading the, statements that people were making and writing them down. Some of the lines that I wrote down were, many times the people who are economically poor are not intellectually poor. Wealth has no relationship with wisdom. I just thought that was amazing. The four teachers, the teacher within us, the teacher around us, the teacher in nature, and the teacher among common people. Oh man, the walk gives currency to those creative ideas. Otherwise, they get lost. That was amazing. Just looking at what people are good at, not just their weaknesses. Everything about this was so good. There's so many things I could say. That guy named Gupta, I can't remember if that was his first name or last name. He's very wise. Minds on the margin are not marginal minds. Just everything about this was so good. Beautiful cinematography. Problems now are more urgent and dependent on the people. The black soldier flies really blew my mind. That was really cool that the people closest to the problem have most knowledge about that problem, and how do you connect all these people together and really make things, have people work as a community from different areas and really work together. Another line I liked was faith makes us resilient. And they mentioned looking for potential and believing in it. Everybody's equal. And I love when they were teaching kids to solve the problems with their own environment and what they had at their disposal, because everybody does not have things at their disposal, doesn't have all these resources, like even just electricity. I mean, I love the solar powered car, all these different people doing all these amazing things. The woman with the making cleaners, super impressive. I mean, helping her people overtaking millions of dollars by selling the product idea to a big corporation or whatever. That's just impressive and amazing to me. Just everybody was so impressive and amazing. Be willing to learn from anyone and everyone. I mean, these are all the things I took from this. And the whole thing made me laugh about the guy that said, you could, have a innovation, do a TED talk, and that's it. But these people are actually helping each other and spreading it to their communities and, not trying to just make a big buck. So it's so great. This is so well put together. I really love the root bridge story. As a theme throughout was amazing. Meeting in the middle. And the one lady that said this gives a new meaning to we the people. A lot of people still think I'm limited because their vision is limited, said by the girl in the wheelchair. I thought that was pretty great. Can we unleash what blinds us? Can we unlearn what blinds us? So great. Just all the different words of wisdom in this, I just couldn't get over it. We need to work together in communal efforts. This documentary is relevant, understandable, relatable, inspiring. There's another thing I wanted to say when somebody said better to have more plants than more buildings. I love it. Love the updates at the end on the different people. So well rounded and put together. I just love this documentary. Again, I think it was perfect. Just amazing. I'm going to check out this fortomorrow.org. I think this is so great. It needs to get out there and be seen by everybody. So great job to you guys and good luck.
This film is called For Tomorrow. This documentary was epic. We are treated to meeting people from around the world who are true innovators to fight climate change and who work on problems that need solutions in society. I just loved meeting these innovators with dreams to help, like improving irrigation and accessibility, using solar power, and converting waste for productive uses. The footage of the various locations was often breathtaking. I was so inspired by this film. It encourages true collaboration, drawing from the experiences and knowledge of others. The narrator who spoke now and then had a wonderfully expressive voice and text which framed the theme of the piece: respect the wisdom of others to help find answers. The soundtrack was lovely and did not overwhelm the action. I was really excited to hear about the progress of the people by the end of the film. Well done.
Hi, these are my comments on For Tomorrow, the environmental documentary. I really enjoyed it. I thought the narrative structure was really strong from the very beginning. The metaphor about the bridge and the tree and the different communities reaching out to one another was really, really beautifully done. And I think the way that it's woven throughout the stories and it's echoed and returned upon after we learn more about these different innovators was really smart, and it was really beautiful that we didn't actually see the full bridge like with people using it, and we got a clearer picture of like what the bridge meant, both in a literal sense and like in a narrative sense at the end. I thought all of that was really smart, really clean. Yeah, I love watching all these different innovators from different like corners of the globe. I thought it was really smart to tell their stories individually, like start on a really micro level with the innovator from Sierra Leone and the person, the wheelchair user, all those things. All of their stories were so specific and so like it was very clear and clean as to what their goals were and where they saw themselves in the innovator community, and then to bring about the For Tomorrow, like that network, and just so for us to see all of these different like stories that we've seen on a micro level, on a macro level, and see them interconnect. Watching the creator from Sierra Leone like connect with somebody else who has a similar idea and watch that idea blossom into like a real conversation over just an hour and 15 minutes. All of that was really beautiful and create a really clean narrative structure that I think will inspire a lot of people to look at innovation differently and to approach what it means to have like a grassroots idea and how marginalized people and their creativity can be harnessed and shared in an interconnected web. I think all of those things were really clearly illustrated and echoed. I really enjoyed this documentary.
For Tomorrow, the documentary on the grassroots innovators, this was fantastic. It's so beautifully done. I loved following these innovators through the weeks of their lives, trying to develop their ideas and being successful women and men. And for the most part, they're from developing countries, so they don't have the resources and the materials that we would have, say, in North America. Their commitment and their energy to serve their community was really impressive. I learned a lot from this. It was informative, but at the end, it also left you hopeful. And the opening and closing shot of the root bridge and how that relates, this was fantastic. What a smart filmmaker team. Everybody should see this. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
For Tomorrow does a very good job exploring these various people and their various skills and their various looking towards the future. And I think it's really interesting. All these people, all these subjects are very interesting, and their methods of looking towards the future for again various reasons too. And I think it's a very well made documentary all around.
Climate change, the water crisis. I'm excited to see how the up-and-coming new generation tackles solving these issues that some of us have yet to face before. You see all these different backgrounds doing their part to make a community a better place than how they found it, whether it comes to detecting lead in the water to fighting for a more accessible space, such as being as common as taking the metro, developing the first solar-powered car. It's the people closest to the problem that contain the most knowledge of said problem, and finding the solution is in your surroundings. My life is normal for me, but abnormal for other people. They dive with something that resonates with me here. Taking acknowledgement of knowing the solutions, but not being able to solve them because of the business models of the world. Not actually being able to help these communities, even though they came up with the solution. Knowing that this is as far as we can go for this cause and knowing when to leave a situation. Not rejecting, but actually understanding it. This gut instinct that exists. A whole system needs to change. There's a mix of man-made and natural solutions to create a better tomorrow. And understanding this ancestral history that can go, in situation to this documentary, can go as far back from the Inca era, and using these tools to give better structures to their lands. The Tomorrow platform gives a technological advantage and virtual community for the up-and-coming innovators of our nation. And this gives fellow activists, engineers, and entrepreneurs a collective to share this knowledge and sometimes these even DIY capabilities to develop our societies in a way that isn't causing destructive detriments to our lands, connecting communities and people to shared problems and offering them solutions. How do we solve the problems of the world? How do we go on about developing? There is power in all of us to make a difference, and any of us are capable of finding the answer. Anyone can create an innovating idea, and you have to fight for what you believe in, always.